Hello, so if you remember, in the last few videos, we have been creating a title page that looks something like this. And I think this is looking really quite nice. You know, we've got the relevant details, space for students to put their name and their student ID. We've even got space to put the final mark over here. The only thing really missing from this is instructions, which I think we can put in this space down here. So let's make a start. So let's go in our code to underneath our T color box on our title page and before it says new page. Remember, this T color box here is basically the end of the big T color box up here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of space underneath just for space to work. And maybe if we just comment this out, so it's good practice, we'll put instructions here. So first of all, I'm going to put in bold instructions to candidates. So instructions to candidates. Okay. And then basically I want to start a bullet point list. Now I'm just going to use the default bullet point list in LaTeX to do this. And the way that I start a bullet point list is by going itemize. So begin, and I'm going to go itemize. And if I click enter, okay, remember it's American English, so itemize with a Z. Every single time I want to start a new bullet, I basically type the command item, okay? So for example, on my first bullet, I might want to put this question book consists of, and then I want the number of questions. Now I could absolutely, when I finish, go through and count the number of questions that appear in this book. In fact, in this case, there's only 3. But what happens if I change my mind and I add an extra question? Or if I just can't be bothered to do that, it's just simply too many questions. Handily, there is an inbuilt feature as part of the exam package, and this is again all to do with the add points parameter, which I got you to put up here, which will add up the number of marks and also add up the number of questions that appear in this question paper. So what I'm going to do is put it in bold first of all, and I'm just simply going to type \num points, okay? And that will just basically be a number, okay? And it'll be the number of points. In fact, I don't want number of points, I want number of questions. So basically this is going to be the number of questions that appear in the book, and it'll just be a number, okay? So actually if I just recompile this, you can see that there'll be an itemized list that will appear down here. And this question book consists of, and then in bold, it says 3. Okay, so you can see there in bold, it says 3. So the num questions just simply corresponds to the number of questions. It's just a number. So I actually want to say that that is 3 and then question. So I'm physically going to type that now. So I'm going to type where it says num questions, I'm going to type questions. Now actually that is not enough because at the moment there's not going to be a space in between those two things. Because I need to tell LaTeX that I'm actually wanting to end this command. So to end the command, I'm just going to use a \. You should always do that whenever you want to follow a command with text. Okay, so in this case, here is a command and I want to follow that with actual text. Okay, and then maybe something like you must attempt, and then bold, all questions in this question book. Okay, so now if I click recompile, you can see that a nice little bullet appears up here with this question book consists of 3 questions in bold. You must attempt in bold and capitals all questions in this question book. Okay, and then if I want to put on a new bullet point, maybe I want to put the number of points that appear in this question paper. I'll create a new bullet by just going item, then I go the number of marks available in this question paper or question book is, and then I want the number of marks. Okay, so again I'm going to put it in bold, and this is where I'm going to put num points, so \num points. Okay, and I actually, because this is just a number, so num points will just show a number. In this case it should be 15. I want to just put a \, and then just type marks. Okay, so now if I click recompile, it should show a second bullet point which has the number of marks. There you go, the number of marks available in this question book is 15 marks, okay? Now, what if I want to put a sub-list in here? So let's suppose I want to put another item, which is you should have, so at the start of this exam, you should have, okay? And then I want to create a sub-list. So in order to create a sub-list, all I need to do is open another itemized environment. So LaTeX will automatically read that because I'm opening another itemized environment within an already existing itemized environment, it will put it as a sub-bullet list. So I'll go begin, itemize again, make sure it's curly brackets, Okay, then click enter, and then this will basically be a sub bullet list. So maybe I'll say at the start of the exam, you should have a formula book, and maybe another item, we maybe put a calculator. There you go, maybe a scientific calculator, make it a bit more specific there. Okay, cool. So now if I click recompile, you'll basically see a sub bullet list appear over here on the right hand side, which it does do there. Now the only thing is, you notice that by default, the sub bullet list will show dashes. So the main bullet list will show bullets and the sub bullet list will show dashes. Really easy fix if you want a different symbol is where I've got my sub bullet list here over on the left hand side. I can just put in square brackets. I can just type / text bullet. And if I do that for both, it will change those dashes to bullets. Okay. So now if I click recompile, you will see those dashes change to bullets. Okay, like so. Now the only thing is, those sub-bullet lists, I think it's a little bit too close to the left-hand side. I'd like it moved over here a little bit more to differentiate a little bit more. So I can really easily do that using the adjust width. Remember that we used the adjust width before? So I'll just go begin, and then adjust width. Okay, now in order to use the adjust width, remember you need to install the change page package. Now I'll basically accept two inputs. So I'll put two curly brackets there. The first set of curly brackets is how much to move it from the left. The second set of curly brackets is how much to move it in from the right. So in actual fact, I'm not going to move it in any from the right, so I'll just keep that at 0, but I'm going to move it in maybe 20 millimeters from the left, okay? And obviously I also need to end the adjust width after the itemize environment. Adjust width, okay? So now if I click recompile, those little sub-bullets should move in from the left-hand side by 20 millimeters. Which it does do, and obviously you can fiddle around with your spacing like that. So actually all I'm just going to do, because I've already typed all these instructions out before, I'm just going to copy and paste some instructions which I've got on file into this here. So if I just go here and click Control B, there we go. Now if I click recompile, then this should work quite nicely. It should basically fill in this space with lots and lots of instructions, and they can obviously read this, okay? Now, the only thing is with this, that I want to put a little bit of space underneath this text box here, so underneath this, this T colour box, and I also want to put a little bit of space before it says instructions to candidates. So I'm just going to pad this out with a little bit of V space. So before the end of the T colour box, I'll just put V space, and maybe I'll put 5 millimeters there, that would work. And then maybe before the instructions to candidates, I'll just put 3 millimeters just to be on the safe side. All right, fine. So now if I click recompile, that should just pad that out. And obviously, you know, you can play around with this and get this looking exactly how you want to as well. By the way as well, maybe you might want to make this entire text change to a different size, a different font size. So all you could basically do is just go begin. So outside the instructions environment, you could go begin and maybe small, okay? And then obviously you need to end small after the itemize environment. So end small, like so. And then that will change the entire font in this itemized list down to small, okay? And obviously you can fiddle around how you want it to. So there you go, it appears smaller now. Okay, fine. What else could I do here? Well, I think what would be quite nice if I could actually put an image over here in this space over the right-hand side. Now, it's a little bit of a hack how to do this, but it does work, okay? What I first of all need to do is put all of these instructions into a mini page. So I'm going to go up here to where it says instructions to candidates, okay? And I'm actually going to put all of that into a mini page up here. So I'm going to go begin, mini page, and the mini page is actually going to be the entire text width. So I'll just go text width up here, okay? And then after it says small, so after I finish that, I'm going to end the mini page. Now actually if I click recompile, that is not going to change anything at all because I've told LaTeX to keep these instructions the full width of the page, okay? So they stay exactly the same thing. Only thing it does do by doing this is it actually moves it over too far to the right. So you can see this is now going slightly off the page. I'm just going to move it back with an adjust width environment. So I'm going to go begin, adjust width. And I'm going to adjust it, nothing from the left, because remember the issue is not over on the left. I want to move it in from the right. So I'm going to move it in 10 millimeters from the right. Okay. If I want to move it backwards, if I want to move it to the left, I need to put a negative. I'll just end the adjust width down here. And adjust width. So now if I click recompile, I'll basically move that back closer to where I want it to be. Okay, fine, that looks fine to me, okay? So now what this allows me to do is it allows me to put another mini page environment, okay? So in actual fact, I'm just gonna put my mini page, I need to keep my mini pages environments together. So because I've created an adjust width outside here, I need to put another mini page environment next to this. So I'll put a little bit of space. Remember to put a star because I haven't finished my mini page environment yet. And I'll open a new mini page environment. So begin mini page. Okay, and you can basically put the width whatever you like. I want this picture to be relatively small, so maybe I'll only make it 10% of the text width. So I'll put 0.1 of the text width. Okay, text width, right? And obviously I need to also end the mini page environment as well. End mini page. Okay, now what this is, it's a little bit of a hack, but it will allow me to put a picture within sort of this. So I can basically just put a picture over here. So put a picture within my environment. Now what I'm going to do is actually upload a new image. Now you can see I've already uploaded a new image up here. It's called Calculator. I've just drawn this myself in PowerPoint. Okay, so just using the inbuilt shapes features of PowerPoint, then just saved it as a PNG. Okay, but obviously to upload an image, same as before, just go upload, drag from your computer, or you can select. Okay, fine. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a graphic. So include graphics. We've done this several times before now. Okay, the width, I'm going to make it 1.5 times the text width. Okay, now obviously, you know, it's all relative. So because I put the 0.1 text width up here, now if I do 1.5 times the text width, it's going to basically make it a little bit bigger. Okay, just going to make it slightly bigger. So it's always relative to what I've defined the mini page as. Okay, so text width, and then I'm just going to call it calculator.png because that's obviously my image which I want to install. Okay, so now if I click recompile, let's see what we get. Now obviously it's just a case of playing around with these different scalings to see what we get. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you can see it's appearing over here on the right hand side. So what I want to do first of all is move it in and then move it up. So I just need to play around with V space and H space to get this looking right. So I'm going to go V space and then star, and I reckon I need to move it up by maybe, let's see, I'm going to move it up by about 50 millimeters. So I'm going to go negative 50 millimeters because I want to move it up. So first of all, I want to get it up in this space here. So if I click recompile, let's see what we get. Yeah, okay, I think that's probably just about right. Now I need to move it to the left, so I need to use my H space. So after V space, I'll just do H space star. And let's suppose the H space, let's just try this out. Let's just try 40 millimeters. And obviously because I want to move it left, I need to put negative in front of it. So, okay, let's see if that's enough to get it in this space here. Yes, it is. I think that looks pretty good. And obviously you can play around with the different scalings. So you can play around with the scaling of the mini page. You can play around with the scaling of the include graphics. And obviously you can play around with the V space and H space to get that positioned exactly how you like. Okay. But I think, to be honest with you, that is a decent first page of the document. And I think that looks really, really nice.